Today, I wanted to create a shorter episode just to answer the question, do you need to know the root cause of your fatigue? So the root cause is often the thing which is keeping your body in threat. If you listen to the episode on the causes of fatigue, I discussed very briefly about the cell danger response, this universal response to threat, which affects the body in different ways and essentially keeps the body stuck in a certain state where rest, recovery, and repair is not possible until the body feels safe to do so. And so with that framework in mind, what I often talk about is we need to know why we became unwell so that we can then address those challenges, those threats, or whatever may be going on in the body and move forward. And so this can be really confusing for some people because some people may not know why they're unwell. And then obviously that can create a sense of panic perhaps, or anxiety. I don't know why I'm unwell. I don't know why I'm unwell. No one can help me. I don't have access to the tests that I need, which that internal dialogue, I appreciate, is not very helpful for healing and well-being and supporting a well-regulated nervous system state. And dealing with a chronic and complex condition can be really challenging for so many reasons. We don't always get the support that we need through the medical professionals we're working with. We don't necessarily get the support that we need from our friends and family because through no fault of their own, they just don't understand what it's like. So I really want to empower people to move forward in their health journey feeling as supported and informed as possible, and also with empowering internal dialogues, because that's really important for the regulation of our nervous system and our mental well-being. So I don't want to create a spin of anxiety and almost like an obsession around, I need to know why I'm unwell. I need to know why I'm unwell, because I don't think that's helpful. But there is definitely, I've noticed with the clients that I work with, there is definitely a strong desire to want to understand what's happening in the body and what's happening to them, and to help them to make sense of their symptoms. And I think this desire to understand is a human desire to feel safer or to feel more in control in a situation which feels very much out of control. And I get that. And that's actually why I love the framework of the cell danger response and the framework of understanding polyvagal theory, how the nervous system works, and this idea of fight, flight, and freeze, because I think those frameworks really help people understand their bodies a bit better. So this idea of the cell danger response is if the cells feel under threat because there's a trauma, there's an infection or a microbe or a toxin threatening the cells, they're going to shut down energy production. Likewise, if the body is operating from a dysregulated nervous system state and there's a lot of freeze in the body, that can also look like fatigue, exhaustion, and shutdown. So we do already have those bigger frameworks in which we can understand what's happening to the body. And I guess where I emphasize this idea of needing to know your root cause, I think that you can still make progress in your recovery journey when you don't know your root cause. So what I want to communicate today is that you don't need to know your root cause to move forward. So if you're thinking, I can't move forward, I can't make progress, I can't move towards wellness because I don't know what's causing this yet, that's not true. There's a lot that you can do to support your body, and I'll start talking about these things in more detail from next episode onwards. So what I really want to do is empower you to understand that there are always things that you can do to support your body, to move forward, make progress. Do some people fully recover without ever knowing why they were unwell? Yes, they totally do. And it's likely because they just gave their body the nourishment that it needed, and that nourishment was appropriate for whatever was going on in their system. But then there are also some people, and this was my experience, doing a lot of things to support their bodies and not making progress. And if that's the case, it's likely that something got missed. And that's when knowing the root cause can be really, really helpful. Because, for example, if someone has mold mycotoxins and they don't know that because no one's ever taken a thorough case history, suggested it could be an issue for them, and then suggested testing, then they can just be running into a wall and feeling like they're getting nowhere until that deeper issue is addressed. So if someone has a gut infection or a parasite or something going on, and that's not necessarily being dealt with or addressed, they may make a certain amount of progress, but they're never going to get to that state of fully thriving and feeling fully energized. If someone has a hormone imbalance and what they really need is hormone replacement therapy, and that's not offered, they can continue to move through life feeling like they're working, just slogging away and not getting that full experience of aliveness and thriving that we all want, because they didn't know that that was what they needed. So do you need to know your root cause to make progress? No. I believe that you can make progress by supporting your body generally. But if you're not making progress, there's an invitation there to dig deeper and see if something got missed and if there's a root cause that needs to be addressed. And then finally, knowing the root cause in the beginning can help to shortcut the process. If I had known that mold mycotoxins were an issue for me, it could have taken a year, maybe even 2 years off of my recovery. If I had fully understood the ins and outs of the nervous system and polyvagal theory and what it really means to support my body from a nervous system perspective, I could have knocked so much time off of my journey and saved so much money on tests that were premature to what I needed to be testing at the time. And I spent so much money taking supplements that my body needed, but would have probably been more effective further down the line when I had dealt with the mold and the nervous system as well. So I hope that helps to answer the question today. And I hope that wherever you are in your journey, you're able to identify things that you can do to move the needle forward on your health. And if you can't, keep listening to the podcast. There's going to be loads more information coming up. And if you really feel like you need help picking this apart and starting to identify what's going on in your body, what do you need to prioritize, where to begin, what tests to run, what supplements to take, the whole minefield of all the different things you need to do to take care of yourself, that's my job. So you can always reach out, take a look at my website, consider working with myself one-on-one so that you can feel fully supported in your fatigue recovery journey. So have a wonderful fatigue recovery day. Remember to leave a review, share this episode if you have enjoyed it and you receive value from what I'm sharing, and I will see you in the next episode.